Yesterday was very, very hot. We spent quite a bit of the afternoon in the shop pulling nails, making these box forms for the 2-foot squares. Now what we're doing is we're actually getting them in line with the other hoppers, getting it all leveled out, and we're setting the center ones first, and then we'll work out each side. So we'll get this all formed up, and then we'll figure out how much concrete we need, and get that ordered, and tomorrow morning about 7:30 in the morning, we're pouring concrete. It's hot today, and tomorrow morning is gonna be cool, but this is good. We're getting a lot done. And then when those are dried and cured, we move those hoppers on here. And maybe if we're feeling ambitious and things go well, which I doubt it's gonna happen, maybe we'll move some bins this week. We'll see though. But yeah, this is going really well.
All right, yeah, when we sat the hoppers down, put stakes, pulled the hoppers up, dug where the stakes are, but in that whole process, you can be shifted off a little bit. So we know what the radius is for each leg of the hopper. So this is the center point of the bin. And then from here out to the radius out to each leg, then we'll determine that the boxes we are gonna fabricate right there are gonna be in line with the legs. So that's what's important. But anyway, so we're gonna do the outsides and then fill the last 2 in.
I just want to point out this dog looks fabulous. Look at that haircut. But what do you got there, boy? What do you got there? What's it? What is it? What is it?
Ready? We take the brick out.
Oh, is it a mouse? Mouse? Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Right here.
Roscoe, Roscoe,
Right here.
Roscoe. Kobe, Kobe, right here, right here. Did you get it? Good boy. That's why we keep him around. There we have it, guys. Forms are all put together and they're where we want it. They're rough, they're jagged, they're not square, everything's crooked, but we go just slightly below overachievers, so we're good, right? But anyways, we just gotta wait for concrete in the morning. 7:30 is when the truck is supposed to show up, unless they call us back and say, we can't make that. But hopefully that's not the case, because we'd like to get this poured so we can get those babies on those pads. And then, I don't know if it's gonna happen this week, but hopefully we can move bins. Kind of doubting it, but who knows, maybe we'll get ambitious. But we still have a lot of spraying to do. And Nick, we're counting on you, because he's doing all the spraying. Good morning. Guess what? Concrete truck's right behind us. So that means we gotta get it busy, right? Yeah, I'd say so.
I think that it's a poor morning.
It is windy today. They're talking wind for the next couple days. So saying that, I don't think we're moving bins, because those things act like sails, big kites. And with a little breeze, you can't maneuver them, you can't set them down, and it's miserable. So I don't think we're moving bins this time, but we can still pour these and put the hoppers on, anchor them down, and call it good. This is exciting, guys. Keep seeing stuff happen on this farm. It's awesome. Moving forward, at least, we're trying to. Now, we're gonna shove little pieces of rebar about 3 feet long. We're gonna pour this little holes. We'll shove 3 of them in there just to kind of keep it from cracking and moving apart. It's gonna take a lot for them to crack apart. And you got all the dirt around it, which is gonna keep it together. But if you don't put a little rebar in there, then, well, it just wouldn't be smart. Let's put it that way. We're putting some in. We did it on those. Everything's great, not a problem. So, awesome deal. We're gonna have this poured in just probably less than an hour, or even less than that. It'll go by really quick. Well, look who showed up today to work. That guy. No, he's been spraying all morning. He's actually been working earlier than me, so he's not lazy. But I got the Employee of the Month shirt. That's all that matters, right? Some people's kids. So what he's doing is he's wetting down the holes, because what happens when you pour the concrete down, if the dirt is really dry, it'll suck moisture out of the concrete and it won't cure as well. You'll have a bad cure. So he's wetting down the holes, so that way the concrete doesn't get less water sucked out of it. It's kind of a smart move, right? Well, I worked a cream up to the top and tried to get it smooth, but this wind is drying it down quickly. So what's happening is all that cream, the nice finish on top, it's drying out, but down below is actually quite a bit softer. So as I'm working it, I'm disturbing what's down below, and it's drying on top. It's just not a very good combination. So I did the best that I can right now, but it's getting warmer, the wind's blowing, and honestly, for hopper bottoms, it'll work out just fine. But I know for a fact that nobody would hire me because this is not a good finish. But for what we're doing, we're happy with it. So anyways, we got some extra we need to do something with, and we're gonna pour it over in front of this building over here next to the doors just to get rid of it, and I think it'll work out pretty well. So awesome. Now, one of the reasons why we're doing this is because you have a lot of growth of weeds and grass and stuff that builds up here, and so in the wintertime the snow collects and it's hard to get the doors open. So if we put a little bit of concrete on both sides, which we actually have extra, that'll stop the growth there. It'll kind of protect a little bit of the building from moisture and stuff going underneath, which is not a big deal because this thing's like stout. But anyways, we got to get rid of it because we had extra. Now you're probably wondering, like, why did you guys order extra? Well, figuring out those holes, you might be off on the measurements. Well, if you come out short, one of those legs is not going to be completely true. So we wanted to get more than we needed just to be on the safe side. Kind of sucks that we have this extra, but this will work out to our advantage. Yeah, good deal. Aren't they just lovely, guys? They're so shiny. They'll get put to use, there's no doubt about that. But what we do have to do is these 3 bins here are gonna be moved at one point. So what we thought about doing is we gotta have bin sheets to cover up the doors that are on these bins over here. We need a bin that has the 18-foot diameter bin sheets on it. So when we remove the door, we gotta cover that. So we thought about it, and what we decided to do is we're gonna take one of these 3 bins and we're gonna take it all apart and use sheets off of this one to patch the hole on the other bin over there and to do the doors. So we got the crane here. I got a tire up at the top and it's got some weight on it. We're gonna take off all the bolts, start pulling sheets off, take the thing, set it down, and dismantle the whole entire bin. So that way when we're ready, because I don't think we're gonna do it this week because the wind's getting pretty nasty, we will start moving those bins over onto those hoppers. But we might as well do this now so we're ready for it. But it looks like he's already dismantled all of the bolts around the door, so this door is basically ready to come off, and he's taken a lot of these other ones out too, so I probably should help him, huh? Yeah, okay, I'll help. So let's get to work. It's kind of freaky seeing this thing floating around inside you. I mean, it's just, we're getting it done.
Check to see if we hauled all the grain out first. All right, this one's clear.
Okay, good, awesome. Well, we're done over here for the time being. We got a bunch of sheets here, and then eventually we will cut off, because that's concreted in, we'll cut that off and then move that slab out of here. We might have some ideas for this thing here, so we're gonna hold off on splitting it. We'll leave it here for the time being, but anyways, sweet. We're gonna try to move those bins and see if we can get that far, but that's only if the weather lets us. What I do need to do though is I need to build some stiffeners for those bins, because what we're doing is those little bins that we're taking apart, those are 20 gauge steel. The bins that we're putting on right now, it's a 18, 18, 20, 20, 20, I think is what the corrugation is on the thickness. So if you add a thin gauge on the bottom, what you'll have in the future, it might not happen, but it's a very big chance of that happening, is all that weight being pushed down, it can start curling the bottom ring, it'll flex it, and you could have the bin collapse and bad news. So we don't want to have that happen. So what we're going to do, and this will solve the problem, it's not going to be an issue at all, because it's such a small bin, it's like a 4,000 bushel bin. I'm going to build stiffeners, so I'm taking angle iron, I'm drilling 5/16 holes, because that's what the bolt hole size is, and we're going to make stiffeners for every ridge that goes around, every seam that connects the bin. When you put the stiffeners on, that'll add it support so that bin cannot collapse and fall down. You won't have a problem with it. So I came up with a little jig here on the end mill. I got a little pinhole, a couple holes there to figure out, a couple brackets, and I will just start punching holes through. And then we can add these on when we put that ring on the bottom, and it'll be golden. So let's punch some holes, guys. Okay, so we got the stiffeners and we have the bin sheets cut out to patch up that hole in the door. And I've got some, oh, what do they call it? It's gasket material for bins that we had left over from the bins last year. This is little strips, and so that way you put it on the seams, seal it, water doesn't get in. So we'll use that to seal it up. We'll drill some new holes because these sheets will have to have holes on one side, and then you'll bolt them up and put them together. So that should be good, and I got a bunch of bolts there. Now I just need to get a bunch of drills, drill bits, sockets, miscellaneous thing, punches to line up, bars, and get all that prepped and ready to go. And then we got to put the crane on the tractor. So I feel like we're making pretty good progress. The crane is over at the Quonset, over there by the bins. And when we're ready, we'll take that tractor over, we'll grab the front end loader, and we'll start putting the crane on the tractor. Once that's good, then we can start getting that tied up to the bin. And then when that's tied up, if the weather's good, and it looks like we can do it, which is beautiful now, but we're not ready for it, then we can start moving and get this thing moved and put on the hopper bottoms, and yeah, good deal, I'm happy. I am so disappointed. You know, he never calls, never texts us. You know, it doesn't even send messages. But he shows up randomly. This is Farmhand Mike. At least he shows up. I mean, I'd rather take that than not, you know. But I would like it if you would at least call.
I lost your number.
Well, you could, like, you know, send letters with, like, you know, big stamps that cost a fortune.
I did, but the mail's so slow right now. Like I
True.
mailed you like 2 months ago. You'll probably get it tomorrow. probably get it tomorrow.
I sure hope
Did
so.
you check the mail today?
No, I didn't actually. I should probably
you
check the mail.
check the mail.
Anyways, guys, this is Farmhand Mike. He is another YouTuber. If you don't know who he is, great guy. We see him at farm shows. He bugs us, harasses us, and you know, it's good to touch base once in a while. But he happened to be in the area and said, you know what, let me stop by and say hello. Well, you said hello. Now,
Time for me to go?
pretty much, yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Is that okay?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're great having you.
I took like 2 hours out of your day, and you guys had stuff to do. I mean,
was it really 2 hours?
Harvest is
It
right
wasn't
around
long
the
enough.
corner, and you know.
That's okay though. We make exceptions for, you know, guys like this. I mean, have you seen his beard? You got to make an exception for
Yeah,
that.
and you guys are probably getting ready to go out and cultivate your corn crop, aren't you?
Gosh.
What do you guys grow here? Corn? And
No,
soybeans and-
just beans. Just
Okay,
beans.
beans.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Well, a lot of guys call soybeans beans. I get it. Yeah, we know all about that. So.
Like I'd know that. Anyways, guys, it's good to have Farmhand Mike here and this little person over here in the corner that doesn't want to be exposed.
Yeah.
His daughter's here too, so we better show her as
See her
well.
on some of my live streams. So
The famous people are here.
that's the only reason they let me stop is because I brought my daughter and she wanted to meet the Welkers. Oh wait,
Well-
she already knew the Welkers.
Well, because we wanted to meet somebody that was really pleasant, and I knew that at least she would be civilized and pleasant. So,
Well, thanks for having us.
yeah,
It was
no, I
great.
appreciate you guys stopping by. Seriously, now we need to go over and see Nick. He's in the sprayer.
Okay, let's
So,
go see Nick.
anyways,
yeah,
but-
cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, yep.
It's kind of a sad day. The 620 quad track is off to another journey. From my understanding, it's heading to California. So, don't know what it's doing down there, what they got planned, but it's not here anymore. So, nice knowing you, buddy. Now we have a horse feed lot that's down by the elevators, and they put a lot of horses in there, and then they ship them up to Canada. Well, they have a lot of manure that they got to get rid of. So every year we have these trucks show up and they haul it out, spread it on our land, and it is fantastic fertilizer. I mean, it's wonderful. It helps bring a lot of different nutrients to the soil and for the organisms in the ground that they can start eating. And this is exciting, guys. I love seeing these trucks pull up, spread lots of poopy all over our field because it's really helpful for us. Sadly, I'm not going to be here for about two and a half weeks or so. I need to head out to Buffalo, New York. Earlier this year, my father-in-law passed away, and the funeral is getting close to the end of June, and so we need to make a trip out there. We're driving. We've done it many times before. But to give you guys an update, I tried to push really hard to get these hopper bottoms put down on these concrete pads and get the bins moved. And sadly, that was not a possibility at this point. We could have moved the bins yesterday. There was an opening where the weather was actually cooperating somewhat, but the problem was there was only a day and a half since we poured this concrete. And if we put those hopper bottoms down and we try to drill and anchor them into the concrete, those are really not cured enough to really do so. So what would happen is you're going to tamper with the structure of the concrete and might not be a good thing to do. So we decided to hold off. Hopper bottoms will be put on later, and Nick and my dad might be able to get adventurous and do it and then drill the holes and anchor them. And then when I get back, or if they're still feeling adventurous, they can move the bin itself. The other thing too is all of these bins that we mentioned earlier that we're going to set in, we have not received the bin sheets, and it's getting closer to harvest, which means we need to focus on getting the combines and trucks and everything else ready to go. So we are not going to put bins in right here before harvest. It's just too much going on. After harvest, hopefully the bin sheets will show up, and then we can start getting this all figured out and then start moving bins. So we won't have that storage this year. But the other thing too is it's pretty dry here, guys. We haven't had a good rain for a while, and the grass here is shriveling up, and the crop's not far after that. So we probably won't have a crazy year of bushels. And that being said, we won't need this extra storage here. It's a little depressing because, you know, you try to do the best that you can, but at the same time too, it's out of our hands. We do the best that we can to get the crop in the ground make sure it has a good start. And it's up to God after that. If he chooses to give us rain, awesome. If he doesn't, you know what? He's blessed us with more than what we deserve. So it's discouraging, but at the same time too, we'll still have a crop. Might not be quite what we're hoping for. And who knows, maybe he'll bless us with more rain just at the right timing, so we'll have an average crop and things will look great. But so far we're not sitting very well at this point, but the future is unknown. So that's kind of a heads up real quick to give you guys what's going on. In case you're wondering in some of these videos, well, why didn't you finish this? Why is this on hold? And we didn't explain it, but anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna hit the road in about an hour and start heading out east, and I'll be gone for a while. So that's where I'm off to. You guys take it easy, seriously. Appreciate it, guys. God bless.